Hello everyone, this is a tutorial for these adorable keychain cell phone holders. This one's a little bat. I love him, he's so cute. Alright, so I'm just going to show you how to do these. First of all, I want to give some credit where credit is due. I found these designs on Thingiverse from the creator Sonia Verdu. So thank you, Sonia, for doing these because they are fabulous. So here we go. We have printed them. There's going to be 8 different animals to choose from. You will get them like this, just raw, 3D printed, just plain. This one's a dragon, as you can see. Nice little scales. You'll get them that way. And then you can choose if you want to just leave them like that and put your keychain on and there you go. Or you can sand them down a little. I use the Dremel tool to do this one. Nice little Dremel tool here. Or you can just sand off the rough edges, just where there's a little pieces here and there that are rough. And you can do that with just some sandpaper. So that's probably what I'm going to do with this guy here and show you how that works. So I told you they're keychain cell phone holders, and of course I'm recording with my cell phone, so I can't show you how that is. So I have something else here to kind of demonstrate how they work. You just put them on your keychain or wherever you want to hook them, and then you're able to, see, just set your cell phone just like slips right into there. They also make good art holders, as you can see. This is my painting from our Star Wars, May the 4th be with you, Star Wars Day. But pretty cool, huh? So that's how they work. And I do have another one that's completed here, so I can show you another version. And that's this cute little orange kitty cat that my mom made. She primed it first with just a regular white primer. And then she did about 3 coats, I think, of orange. And you want to do all the way around because it's going to be hanging on your keychain. So don't forget to do the underside because you want to be able to have the whole thing coated. And then she went back with just a Sharpie marker and did the little stripes and paw things and little tufts in his ears even. Cute. And then after you're all done, once you get it coated how you want it to be, then you take just a regular clear gloss coat is what we used. Went outside and gave it a couple layers of this to make it durable, because if it's on your keychain or somewhere it's hanging, even if it's on your backpack or something, it's going to get knocked around. And so we want to coat all that hard work you did. All right, so I'm going to go right into showing you how it's done. So like I said, I'm going to take the dragon here, and I do want to show you that I do have some in different varieties here. These two I use the Dremel tool on, and that's the dog, which I think looks like Falcor. Doesn't that look like Falcor? How cute is that? Anyway, so there's the dog. I use the Dremel tool on him. Actually, I use the Dremel tool on his backside, and so you see it's really smooth. On the front, I used just some sandpaper, and you can see, hopefully, that it is, I mean, you still see kind of the circles of it, but it feels very smooth. But you don't want to get carried away because you don't want to lose those cute little features. And then this one's a bunny, and I did use the Dremel tool on this one as well. But here's an example of the features. So I feel like his features aren't as bold because I did go over them quite a bit with the Dremel. But I will go back in and highlight them when I paint them. So that's some differences. And also, like in here, I think it's probably good to leave a little bit of the ridge in there just to be some friction to hold the cell phone in. But this one I did do smooth. So those are some that I've done. And then these, the tortoise, I did not Dremel tool on that because I love all this texture that's on there. So I didn't want to lose any of it. So I think in fact, I know all I did with this one is just sand any little rough edges, and then I have primed it. And then this one, I did use the Dremel tool on the snail shell and a little bit around the head. And then just on the edges of the little antennae was a couple hard pieces, so I did Dremel on there a little bit. I didn't Dremel anything on the bottom though. And then I primed this one. Well, today I'm just going to do the the dragon, and I'm just going to use the sandpaper. And this happens to be P80. I know that's backwards to you, but P80 is what it says. So there we go. And I'm just going to go on the edges where there's a little rough spot. And that is it. Just going to do that. Okay, so I took a few minutes and I just sanded all around the edges. So So there's kind of a ridge across the bottom. And so I just kind of softened all that because I didn't want any like hard edges. And then there was a couple spots just where the 3D filament had kind of pooled or dragged off a little bit. And so all I did was just go around and smooth the edges. That's what I did for that. I left, there's kind of some spiral effect on the horns, which I think is kind of cool for horns. So I left that. Now you could rinse it off or something just to get some of the dust off. But what I'm going to do is just use a thick bristled brush. It's like wiry and stiff. And I'm just going to brush all that dust right off of there. And then I'll be ready to put on my first layer of paint. And I think I kind of want like metallic dragon or something. And there are some really cute little features on this guy. It does have like little toes, little shapes of toes. It also has, which I think this is so adorable, it has little pads on its feet. I know that's hard for you to see in the video, but see like little pads like a kitty cat would have, little jelly beans, so cute. So I like some of these details. And of course there's the flaring nostrils and the beady eyes. All things I think are just wonderful. So I love those. Oh, jumped out of my hands. All right, so I feel like I brushed the dust off really good. So now what I'm going to do is put on my first coat of paint. And I want to go with something metallic. I just like that. So I have some gold and silver, and then I have like a pearly white. And then I also have a black that I'll probably use later for the accents. I mean, like I said, Mom used Sharpie on her kitty cat, and so that's one option. And I might go that way. I don't know, but I love this like metallic look. So I think to me, the darkest of these is the silver. So I'm going to start by just doing silver. So I'm just going to use one of these small soft tipped paintbrushes, and I am going to paint it. So here we go with that. Just get that. I'm just going to cover the whole thing in it, and then later I'll worry about details. But I did not prime this one because I just want to see how it turns out not primed. I have a few that are primed, and I thought I would just try this route and see how it goes. Mom primed hers. The black bat that I showed you was actually printed in black because I thought it might be fun to see if we could print the animals in all different colors, which we definitely can, but then I would have, you know, 3 pink bats and somebody wants an orange one. So I decided gray is the way. Gray is the way to go. So that way everybody gets to choose their paint color, and it'll go on nice because gray is not too dark, not too light. It's a very good middle of the road neutral color. So that's why I chose to go that route. And as you see, I am just slathering it on there. And I know it started out gray already, so the silver doesn't really change the color, but it's already shiny. Look at the legs that I haven't done, and then the body. So definitely I'm loving this shine. For some reason, to me, a metallic dragon sounds awesome. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just putting on the whole first coat of paint all over. I'll set it down here. I do have newspaper spread on my table, and then I also have like a plastic plate to set things on, or if I need to pour any paint on, I'll pour it onto the plate. So I am holding a little bit at the end here, but just getting it all covered and doing a nice thin coat, not putting on too much. Let me just show you my workspace area. You can see what I'm doing. Here we go. So my newspaper and my supplies, and then a thin coat, especially since we want to add details later. We don't want any paint like gumming up and getting a big glob into the, you know, nostrils or the eye holes or something. So I'm holding this tip at the very top. I'm going around everything. I did do the belly, so it's sitting on the belly, and then I'll just do that little tip that I was holding last. Okay, so first coat is on. Now all we'll need to do is let it dry, so I'll go wash out my brush, and I'll put the lid back onto my paint, and then we'll come back here in a little bit when it's dry. All right, so I have let my little guy first coat dry. Looks nice and shiny now, and I'm going to go ahead, and when you do that thin coat like that, it doesn't take a long time to dry, so I'm going to go ahead and do another coat just like I did before, a nice thin coat with my nice little silvery color. I'm going to cover the belly first, get in all there. All right. And then I'll start moving on to the front side. Get all that. Just going to cover them nice thin layer all over. Again, I'm just going to hold on to that scale. And here we go. That's getting a little gloppy because I don't want to fill in the the holes in between the scales and stuff. I just want it colored. I don't want it like a whole big thing of paint, because you'll have it messes with the structure of the style. You'll miss some of the details, but also then it'll take a whole lot longer to dry. And I want to move right along with this little project. So keep on keeping on. Doing the back side. I'll do the front side. I'll turn around so you can see me doing the front side. I'm just going to hold that top thing there and get his little face. Again, don't want to fill in the nose holes and the eye holes. I want to keep those open and ready for detail. There we go. So you're just getting another layer on there all over, and I am kind of spreading it out, so keep it thin layer. All right, now I'm going to work myself up to this point. My plate has kind of a little lip to it there, so I can push against that. Okay, I feel like it's definitely a better coverage now, where before it was kind of, you know, still a little gray when I want it to be all silvery. And this silver does actually have a touch of yellow in it, so it gives it kind of I don't know, gold and silver together. It's kind of cool. So, all right, so that is it for my second layer. I'll go wash out my brush and put this on. I know it's pretty much the same thing I just showed you, but we'll be back to start doing details next. All right, we're back. Second coat dry. It definitely looks not gray anymore, very nice and shiny. So now I'm ready to add some details. All right, so I definitely want to highlight the different details that are on there, like the nostrils and the eye holes. So I thought it might be fun to give a dragon some glowing green eyes. So I don't hardly have any left in here. So, but I went and got myself a little bitty fine brush, which I agree probably using a Sharpie marker is going to be a lot easier to manage. But I don't know. Call me crazy. I just like to do things different, I guess. So I'm going to try to just use this brush and put right in the center of those eyes and have some glowing green eyes. Now, something about these eye holes too, is as you can see as I'm putting stuff in there, is they have kind of an eye socket around them. So I'd like to highlight that too. I'll probably put another dose of the green in there, but there's my glowing green eyes so far. And we'll see if they actually glow in the dark. That'd be fun. But since I want to highlight that eye socket around it, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to use this same brush. Just grab me a little water to dip it in. And so I'll dip it in the water just to get that little bit of green off. But since it's still a small area there around the eye, I am going to use, remember I told you my silver had a little bit of yellow in it, so it was kind of a yellow gold. Well, this is some actual, or sorry, a goldish silver, a yellow silver, a neat color, I think. So I'm going to take this gold and I'm going to highlight that eye socket area. So I will just paint just that area around the eye, just so that part stands out. Now, with your keychain cell phone holder animal, you will be able to choose what colors you want and make it exactly how you want it to look. And you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm just showing you what I'm doing so you can have some ideas. Now, see how that stands out now? Has that gold around the green. I love it. So I'm going to do the same thing with the nostrils because I want them just highlighted a little bit. And so the kind of hood around the nostrils, I'm going to do just like I did the hood around the eyes. And I'm just going to kind of trail it up the nose a little bit and let it fade out from there. Do that around both nostrils because they kind of lead up on the head a little bit. So that's the line that I'm following, is just going around it and then up on the head a little bit and letting it kind of fade out as it fades up the head. And that is just the way we like it, right there. Just highlighted the nostrils just a little bit. So see, there I have my gold around my eyes, gold around my nostrils, and then inside my nostrils, I'm gonna put a touch of red because I think that will look really cool, like a fire-breathing dragon. But before we move on, I have a few of the things I want to highlight. I want to highlight those little jelly beans on the pads of the feet. They're so cute, and I'm going to make them gold too. Just the little jelly beans sticking up on the pads, so it looks like little paw prints. They're so cute. That way they stand out a little more. On both those back paws is all we got, just there. There's 4 little dots, 3 at the top, 1 at the base, just like your cat would have or your dog would have. A wide one at the base and then 3 small jelly beans. So that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna add a little bit more because I don't think I'll come back in with a second coat because I'm just wanting them highlighted. So I will probably put a little bit thicker on this first time because I don't want to do a second coat. I just want the dots basically. So I don't think I want to come back with a second coat. Just do it all right here, right now. Of course, time will tell as well. Okay, the other detail I would like to add to my dragon is I would like the horns and the scales sticking up on the back to look a little more like bone. So I'm still going to use my small pointy brush, and I'm going to use some of this pearly white to accent those. And again, I probably, of course time will tell after it dries what I really like, but I probably won't do a second coat on this one either. I just want them highlighted. So I'm just going to take some of this pearly white to put on those things to make them look more like bone. So again, you don't have to take as much time as I am. You can take more time than I am because your creature is your creation and you get to decide how it looks. And of course I'm going for kind of subtle highlights. I don't want anything to like really stand out. I just want that slightly like a bone color, and then the slightly highlighted pads on the paws, and then slightly highlighted around the nostrils. So that's the way I'm going for my critter. You get to do your critter however you want. So there we go. So like I said, you might take more time than I do, or you might take less time. You might not even paint it at all. And that is completely up to you, your discretion, your critter. So that's great. So I'm almost done. Just going to go down these scales. And as I'm putting the white on, it's very, very subtle, a little more subtle than I was expecting. So I might actually go back with a second coat for those, but I won't keep you guys for that. That's just something I might end up doing later, but I'll let it dry first before I make my decision, because I like to see it dried and how it's really going to turn out before I add any more. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, so I just did the horns and the bumps down the back. That's all I'm doing for now. Let it dry and see. Okay, so there's my finished-ish dragon. Like I said, I don't know. When it dries, that white might pop a little more to me, so I'll leave it. And I am going to add just like I did the green dots in the eyes, I'm going to add the red dots in the nose. And that's all that I'm going to do. So then to finish up your project, so once you have it painted how you want it, then you take it outside where there's nice ventilation, and you're going to use this clear coat spray and give it a couple coats. And then the last thing to do, which you'll have here, is to add your little keychain dealy bob, which I have one here somewhere. Maybe I put my plate on top of it. I might have, let's see. Well, anyway, I'll just take one off of here to show you how it works. It's really simple. It's one of these little latches that you just kind of pinch it, and it's going to be already attached on one end, and then you will just attach it on the other end. And then I do suggest, once you get it on there and get it where you want